So, The Hill released an article called The Four Seasons. No, I'm just kidding, but the four reasons why Harris is losing. Like the Four Seasons, a nice hotel. We're going to actually break this down and read why Kamala Harris is actually losing. And there's four reasons. So, I have spoken to three Democratic operatives behind the scenes who all believe the race is slipping away from VP Harris. They all offer four major reasons why this is happening. First, it's Harris herself. Yikes. She is simply not a very good candidate. She lacks confidence and seemingly terrified to take any unrehearsed or unvetted policy questions. This liability is not a surprise to those who follow politics closely, but is a new concern for a number of voters. Also, if we go back to 2020, she ran against Joe Biden. She tried running for president, guys. She was the first Democratic person to get knocked out because of how shitty she was. This unsteadiness and insecurity was initially on display when she was the first candidate to embarrassing flame out in the 2020 presidency primary. Oh, wow, it's literally right there. Now, in a deja vu moment for clarity, and voters and major donors to the Democratic power brokers are being reminded of those same failings in 2024. Yeah, when you normally fail so hard that you're the first person out and the first, that doesn't normally mean like, hey, you know what, let's give you a second round again. They just didn't give you a fair shake. No, you suck. You absolutely suck. And the only thing that sucks more is your husband, Dougie. Besides, like, hold on, like, before we go back to this, they're trying to get the black community. Why would the black community want to vote for the first black woman in office when she herself voted for a white man? Makes no sense, right? Why would you? That doesn't even make sense. You guys are fucking double standards left and right. The second reason Harris is slipping is because the Biden-Harris administration's record. It's weighing her down, dragging her down. It's not the Biden-Harris record. That's just her record. This is her shit. Okay, Harris made the problem significantly worse while doing an interview on this week's ABC's The View. Even though purpose of this was a puff interview to make her look good, she fumbled the bag when asked, would you do anything differently? And she says, there's not a thing that comes to mind. Not a thing. Just literally just play that and then add, I'm Donald Trump and I support this message. This screams of shock and disappointment from the Harris campaign because this should have been an easy layup. And she was like, yes, I don't agree with everything. We could do things better. We are different people. And now going forward, I have a new set of plans that I would like to enact. But not surprising, the Trump team has been playing the answer on loop. They have been beyond thrilled that Harris would just spot weld herself to the rest of the campaign of Biden's failures. Third, we come to the same issue and ultimately ended the presidential campaign of Florida Ron DeSantis. It's virtually impossible to run against the cult of personality which Trump has going for him, which is the MAGA supporters. I saw something on NBC or one of these news networks that they were saying that MAGA doesn't seem like it has the same energy as it did in 2020. I think it's transformed and multiplied so much so that it's just everything around us. Because people like me, I'm pro-Trump, right? But I'm not like, I fucking love Trump. What I fucking love is Tulsi Gabbard, is honestly Elon Musk, a big fan. Big fan of RFK. And honestly, the more I've listened to Vivek and JD, the more I've liked of them too. So it literally feels like Trump has the Avengers with him. And I fuck with the Avengers. But like it or not, admit it or not, Trump has that exclusive or the elusive it factor. You can't buy it, you can't create it, you can't fake it. You either have it or you don't. This won him the presidency in 2016 and saw him come within a whisker of winning in 2020, even though they cheated in that. Even with them cheating, he was close to winning. While setting an all-time popular vote to tally for the sitting president, now it has become more and more voters believe that he will win the substantial victory in this next month. Harris, like DeSantis in the GOP primary, is marching straight into the teeth of the cult of personality, and the campaign started with a race of tens of millions of votes on the back of it. Finally, we have the issue with the Democratic operatives I've spoke with believing that how devastating Harris is, the old, how are you better off than you were 4 years ago question. The problem for Harris is that potentially millions of Americans with the Democratic core constitution, I don't even know how to say that word, not only believe that they are better off 4 years ago, but they think their families are being crushed excuse me. They said they think they were better off 4 years ago, and now the families are being crushed by the Biden-Harris policies and failures. Under this scenario, what is pragmatic? What is realistic for Democrats for them to? What do they need to believe in? Do they? I'm just going to sum this part up. Do you believe where 4 years ago you were better off, and in this current 4 years you feel like you're being crushed by the policies and the failures and the ineptitude of leadership? So are you going to continue to back on that and say, nah, next 4 years will be different? Or do you go back to the 4 years that were proven, where we had more money, people had better opportunities, everyone felt a lot safer, and the only people who didn't feel safe when Donald Trump was elected were the corrupt fucking bigots in our government. Those are the only people who didn't feel safe. So if you're trying to support those people, understand you're supporting basically the mafia that is the government. We have good people who want to go into government and do a good thing, and then you have people who are in the military-industrial complexes, the Dick Cheneys, the Liz Cheneys, the people who want war, who want to govern, who want to look at you like commodity and put you in your little spot and make sure you get just enough to stay happy and vote for them. That's who you guys are cheering for. And if so, wake the freak up. No one's coming to save you. No amount of policy is going to make you a winner. You're currently a loser, and the best thing to do in your life is to look yourself in the mirror. Understand that right now, in this very second, you are a fucking loser. But that doesn't mean tomorrow or in the next hour or in the next week you have to be a fucking loser. It can all change, and it all starts changing off one small step. Losers become winners, and winners can become losers. And it's all the small things that you do in the darkness and in the shadows when no one is looking. And I'm talking about educating yourself. I'm talking about working out. I'm talking about being a good person, opening the door for an old lady even though no one else sees it. Just doing it because you know that is the right thing to fucking do. Hold yourself accountable. And when you don't do something to the utmost extreme, when you know you could have done better, you should be mad. And the only person you should be mad at is yourself. And if you're somebody like Harris and the Biden campaign, and you're pointing the finger, right? You're pointing the finger at somebody, right? Look at this. You got one finger pointing at them, but you got 3 more pointed back at you. Take 3 times the amount of accountability. It is so much better for you to think that everything starts and ends with your actions. In the sense of not everything starts and ends with you, but in terms of if something goes wrong, it's your fault. If something goes right, take ownership of it too. But in that case, spread the wealth and understand that it's not just, and hopefully you'll realize this once you do start winning, that it's never really you. It's about you and everyone else that you surround yourself with, which full circle, I can leave like the best of them. We're going out there and now we're bringing it back. And you surround yourself with a bunch of winners like Tulsi, like Elon. RFK is one hell of a guy. Vivek Swami, very smart man. And JD, the manliest man of them all. Nice beard. He had a very nice beard. I told him I wanted to grow a beard like that, but it is too patchy. Alright guys, I'm sorry. I was going on right there. But if you like the way the words are flowing out my mouth, I promise we're going to start reacting to different things. I like sports, anime, gaming, all of the 9 yards. Honestly, crypto's been popping off too. The Web3 and off the grid. If you know, with that said, if you do know, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.